With WrestleMania 42 drawing closer by the week, speculation around Rhea Ripley's role on the biggest stage of the year continues to grow. As one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions alongside IYO SKY, Ripley already has a guaranteed place in the spotlight. However, the bigger question dominating conversations among fans and analysts alike is whether Ripley will walk into WrestleMania defending tag team gold or competing for a singles championship once again. At the moment, Ripley and Sky sit firmly atop the women's tag team division. Their reign has been marked by dominance, chemistry, and an aura that makes them feel like a cornerstone of WWE's women's roster. Historically, champions of that caliber almost always find themselves in marquee matches at WrestleMania, and this year is expected to be no different. The uncertainty comes from Ripley's individual momentum, which arguably eclipses even her success as a tag team champion. This weekend's Elimination Chamber event could play a defining role in shaping Ripley's WrestleMania destiny. Ripley has the opportunity to earn a shot at the WWE Women's Championship, and if she capitalizes on that opportunity, the entire landscape of WrestleMania 42 could shift dramatically. A chamber victory would put her back into the singles title picture, reigniting memories of her previous championship runs and reinforcing her status as one of WWE's most bankable stars. That possibility has fueled debate about whether WWE will prioritize Ripley's singles stardom over her tag team success. While the tag team titles are important, WrestleMania often focuses on the biggest individual stars and the matches that generate the loudest reactions. Few women in WWE currently command a reaction as consistent and explosive as Ripley. Veteran wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer has weighed in on this very topic, offering insight that has only intensified speculation. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer and his co-host discussed last Friday's WWE SmackDown and the various directions WWE appears to be considering for WrestleMania. One of the key moments they analyzed was a confrontation involving WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair. On the surface, that interaction seemed to suggest a WrestleMania showdown between Charlotte and Cargill. Given Charlotte's legacy and Cargill's dominant presentation, such a match would make sense from a star power perspective. However, Meltzer expressed doubts that this is the final direction WWE will take. While acknowledging that Charlotte versus Cargill has felt like a long-term plan, he pointed out several factors that could steer WWE toward a different matchup. One of the most significant details is Charlotte's failure to qualify for the Women's Elimination Chamber match. In contrast, Ripley's presence in the chamber positions her far more directly in the championship conversation. Beyond logistics, Meltzer emphasized something that often proves decisive in WWE booking decisions: crowd reaction. According to him, Ripley's popularity far exceeds that of anyone else in the women's division at the moment. Every time her name is mentioned, the response she receives is noticeably louder and more intense. Meltzer described her reactions as being 3 times bigger than those of her peers, a statistic that speaks volumes about her connection with the audience. From Meltzer's perspective, that kind of reaction makes Ripley the biggest female star in WWE right now. In his view, it would be logical for WWE to center WrestleMania around that star power. If Ripley truly is the most popular woman on the roster, then giving her a high-profile singles match, especially one involving a championship, becomes not just an option, but a necessity. Meltzer went further, suggesting that WWE may ultimately pair Ripley against Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 42. That matchup would pit 2 physically dominant, larger-than-life competitors against each other in what could be framed as a clash of titans. Cargill's aura of invincibility, combined with Ripley's intensity and crowd connection, could create one of the most talked-about women's matches in WrestleMania history. In that scenario, Meltzer even speculated that Ripley could walk out of WrestleMania as champion. His reasoning ties back to her star power. WWE has historically rewarded performers who consistently generate the biggest reactions, and Ripley's ability to command the crowd places her in rare company. If the goal is to showcase the strongest possible version of the women's division, then positioning Ripley at the top makes sense. This potential direction also aligns with other storylines currently unfolding. The rivalry between Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaca appears to be moving toward its own WrestleMania destination. With that match seemingly locked in as another major women's bout, WWE could structure WrestleMania 42 around two marquee women's matches, Morgan versus Vaca on one side and Ripley versus Cargill on the other. Such a layout would allow WWE to maximize its top stars without overcrowding a single storyline. Morgan and Vaca bring emotional storytelling and technical intensity, while Ripley and Cargill offer spectacle, power, and star presence. Together, those matches would give the women's division a prominent and balanced showcase at WrestleMania. Of course, none of this diminishes Ripley's current success as a tag team champion. Her partnership with IYO SKY has been one of the most compelling elements of the women's division. However, history suggests that WWE often prioritizes singles achievements at WrestleMania, especially when a performer's individual popularity reaches a certain level. Ripley may simply be too big of a star to confine to a tag team storyline on the grandest stage. Another factor working in Ripley's favor is her proven track record in big match situations. She has delivered in championship matches, high-pressure environments, and WrestleMania moments before. WWE knows she can be trusted to perform on the biggest stage, which further strengthens the case for placing her in a singles title match. As Elimination Chamber approaches, all eyes will be on Ripley. Her performance there could either confirm Meltzer's prediction or force WWE to reconsider its plans. A strong showing or outright victory would almost certainly propel her into the women's championship picture heading into WrestleMania 42. In the meantime, speculation will continue to swirl. Fans will debate whether WWE should focus on Ripley's tag team reign or capitalize on her singles momentum. Analysts will dissect every promo, every confrontation, and every booking decision for clues. And Ripley herself remains the constant at the center of it all, a performer whose presence alone seems to dictate the direction of the women's division. Whether she enters WrestleMania 42 as a tag team champion, a singles challenger, or potentially even a newly crowned women's champion, one thing feels increasingly certain: Rhea Ripley will be in a high-profile match. The only question left is how high WWE is willing to aim. If Dave Meltzer's instincts prove correct, the answer is very high indeed.
If you love your father, then subscribe the channel, and those who love me show your love by liking and subscribing.